looking at a high of 92. Currently, we have 66 degrees in Florissant, St. Peter's, and downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Macy's.
Brought to you by Macy's Backstage.
Back to school at Macy's is all about fresh starts and new looks. Save on must-haves like cargos, mini dresses, jeans, and more that'll hold up from the first day of school to the last. Plus, you'll find all the top quality brands you love. Shop Macy's and make the first day back the best one yet. Check out Macy's.com/back-to-school today.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
It's the Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
Now, Amy Marks Course, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Oh, what a Wednesday it is. This right here, baby, is the kind of temperature I love.
Oh,
high
my gosh.
of 77 today.
Little overcast.
Yeah.
You can feel fall in the air.
Oh, man.
Go get yourself a pumpkin spice latte.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He almost passed out from the exhale.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
This guy loves himself a pumpkin spice latte.
Can't wait until it's 100 on whatever Saturday.
9100?
Yeah, it's going to be disgusting. 314-436-7900. Give us a call today or a text. And by God, you have got to use our voice messaging feature on the Odyssey app. It's awesome. AUDACY is the app. Download it where you can listen to KMOX. And when you're on the page, tap the mic button and leave us a message. Hit send and we will get it. And if it's good, or maybe even if it's not, you might get to hear yourself on air. We are on social media at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everybody will be talking about.
Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention happens today in Chicago after the Obamas, Michelle and Barack, spoke last night, among others.
And this morning was the innocence hearing for Marcellus Williams. You remember he is the man who was on death row, though new evidence is showing that he did not, in fact, commit the crime. Stuart McMillan of the KMOX newsroom is at the innocence hearing, and we'll hear from him later today.
And the Cardinals lose to the Brewers in the first of a series, and what is an important series for them as they try to claw their way back into the playoff picture.
We've talked about the offensive struggles all year. You can play the numbers, you can platoon. At this point, what else is there to do?
It's a good question. There's not a good answer for it, to be quite honest with you. We didn't do enough against their starter. Really good swing by Carp coming off the bench. Hasn't seen at bats in a while. Was able to do that live BP against Lance today. But to come off the bench and hit a homer there, that's a big swing. So that was good to see. But we sprinkled in some hits here and there. We did hit some balls hard right at people, but at the end of the day, so did they, and weren't rewarded for it. And they came up with some other hits that they were rewarded for. So I've said it before. In order for us to be playing in October, we're going to have to score more runs, and we were unable to do that again today.
So there it is. Last night, the Cardinals did have an opportunity. They trailed most of the game. They loaded up the bases in the 9th inning. They could get nothing across. And this was after the Brewers scored 3 runs in that 9th. Or excuse me, they had scored 3 runs up until that point. The Cardinals with a couple in the bottom of the 8th inning and a real opportunity to, tie the game, take the lead, whatever. They even had one of their big boys up, Paul Goldschmidt, bases loaded, and it didn't happen. So this is, since August started, Amy, this team has won 5 games. And it is August 21st. So this is exactly the opposite of what's supposed to happen after the trade deadline when you make deals to address needs that you have. They felt like they needed a starter and a reliever and another bat. They got all of those things. And now it's becoming clear, unless something changes rapidly here, that they just didn't do enough. And the roster has not been good enough. So this is a really bad position for them to be in. And I really did not think, if we go back, however many weeks it was, and they were playing pretty good baseball and they were in the playoff I shouldn't say picture because they're still in the picture now, but in playoff position. So if the season had ended a month ago, they're in the playoffs. I didn't think it would get like this. I didn't think it would completely fall apart the way it has in August.
Yeah, no, it has, and they haven't played well, and the players aren't playing well. They're just not. So people can point the finger at Ali Marmol or whoever, but I mean, at the end of the day, players have to play. There is no way to rearrange this lineup to make it better than they are now. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong here. To me, there's nothing Ollie can do. If the players aren't playing, if Goldschmidt's not hitting, if Arenado's not hitting, if your players are struggling to just play solid baseball, I don't know that there's anything the manager can do. I also don't know, man, those press conferences have got to be every day exponentially worse. What do you say? What do you say if you're the manager of this team right now?
Look, I have this philosophy as it comes to managers that people dramatically overrate how important they are. Okay, that's not the right word. Important isn't the right word. They dramatically overrate how influential they are
on the players
in terms of play. It's not like football where you can scheme and you can game plan. And if you have a bad game plan, if you have a bad offensive plan, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter how good your players are.
Like if you decide to throw the ball in the Super Bowl in the last play when you have the best running back.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like what Pete Carroll did. If you are bad at coaching in the NFL, there's no chance you're going to win. In baseball, it is so heavily player driven, more so I think than the other sports. And it might sound absurd to say that because, well, all sports need really good players to win. Yes. But the influence the manager has over the product is not what it is in the other sports, especially something like football.
Because
let's look at it this way.
I was gonna say, even in basketball, you've got 5 guys on the court. If 2 guys are really playing well, they can carry a game. In baseball, 2 guys can be playing well. They can't carry a team. They can't carry.
They can in short bursts.
But not for 162 games.
Right. So, but that kind of leads us to Goldschmidt and Arenado, who have not been particularly good this year. Nothing like what their career norms are. And what happens is when you have 2 players like that who are that good, when the rest of the lineup is struggling, you still have a fighting chance. But if they are not providing the bulk of the offense, like would happen in, like what Aaron Judge is doing for the Yankees, for example, right? I mean, even if the rest of the lineup is struggling, at least you got that guy, or you got Juan Soto in the lineup. At least you have them producing. The Cardinals don't have that. So if you don't have that and the rest of the lineup isn't lifting everyone else up, then they are in some serious trouble. So that's what we're seeing right now. This is it's really disheartening that they've gotten to this position and that their 2 best players, or what are supposed to be their 2 best offensive players, have just not contributed in a meaningful way. And I don't want to put it all on them because it is not entirely all on them, but a big part of it is. And that's why when people get mad at the manager, I understand it. I get it. I didn't understand the Jordan Walker thing. And according to reporting from yesterday, there was some disconnect between what the playing time for Jordan Walker was supposed to be when he was here and what management decided to do. So that exists, but that's also not really the problem with this team because Walker wasn't producing all that much in the short burst anyway. It's kind of a side. That's a side distraction. The problem is for a manager, you can only really do so much. There are about 300 pitches that are thrown in every game. About. An offense has an opportunity to score on literally every pitch. Every pitch that comes in is a potential home run. A manager does not influence every one of those pitches. They don't call all those pitches. They don't say, "Hey, I'm calling the home run play on this one, so hit a home run." They don't get to do that. It is so heavily player driven, and I think what we're seeing is the Cardinals roster is just not good enough.
So, going to what a manager can do, What did you? I mean, obviously, it turned out to be the right decision when Brewers manager Pat Murphy decided to walk Lars Nootbaar to face Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, I mean, I don't like doing that, generally speaking, but there are some times where it does work. And it worked last night. And that's the thing, is that if you have Goldschmidt with the bases loaded in the ninth inning and down a run, that is
It sounds like what we want.
If you were to draw it up on a typical year, you would say, yes, if there's anybody I want up with the bases loaded in the ninth inning down a run, I want Paul Goldschmidt up. But he just isn't himself anymore.
And isn't that what the manager does, is read that situation and say Goldschmidt's not himself?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but even
put the
then,
all-star in that position.
But even in that, there's not always a guarantee that it's going to work in your favor. You know, it's yes, a managerial decision can end up being very big. But I'm saying,
I know you're talking about it as a whole. No, I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
It's on the margins, and the Cardinals are not losing on the margins. They're losing in the big moments. They're losing in the bulk of the game. That's the problem.
A manager can put you in a position where it increases a possibility to a probability.
That's it.
But if the players don't play, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it's all about increasing your chances. And that's why I am such an advocate of spending as much money as possible on your team. And if you have it, and I think most baseball teams do have it to be able to spend, but I advocate for it for this reason. When you assemble the best roster possible with some high-priced talent, you're going to have to pay for it if it's good. You have not guaranteed you're going to win, but you have dramatically increased your odds of winning. You have lessened your margin of error. That's what you need to do. And a manager on a much, much smaller scale can do that. Decrease the margin of error, but it is nothing compared to what the roster is. And what we are seeing right now with the Cardinals is a roster problem. If you have thoughts on this or anything else, we want to hear from you on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Tap that mic button if you're listening there and drop us a voice message, hit send, and maybe we will hear it right here on the show. It's Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji. Democratic National Convention continued last night, but some important speakers last night. Also, we're going to talk to Major Garrett. Usually we don't do this on Wednesday, but we had to readjust this week. So Major will join us at the bottom of the hour on KMOX.
Windows have changed a lot in the past 120 years. Well, life has changed a lot. Materials have greatly improved, and there are more style options than ever before. There are more design options than ever before. But you know what has not changed in over a century? That's Andersen's status as the country's premier window company. And their full-service window replacement division, Renewal by Andersen, they continue that tradition of excellence. You've heard me talk about Renewal by Andersen's Acclaim windows. Well, those Acclaim windows are made with their exclusive composite Fibrix material. You literally cannot get these windows anywhere else. They were developed and made by Renewal by Andersen. These windows are custom built for a weather-tight fit, and they can reduce drafts and increase your home's overall comfort. Here's a pretty exciting part. Now through August 31st, so just through the end of the month, Renewal by Andersen's huge one-month-only sale is going on, and you can save $329 on every window and $729 on every patio door with 0% interest for 3 years. Call 314-720-9200. That's 314-720-9200.
The 2024 Democratic National Convention is underway, and KMOX News will have updates throughout the week from Chicago. And Thursday night, Kamala Harris will accept the party's nomination. Hear it live beginning at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1120, KMOX.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan with a quick reminder. Schedule that annual eye exam. Routine eye exams not only diagnose vision changes, but can detect systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, to name just a few. Do what I do. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000. The doctors there, Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Samuel Berry, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, will provide you with the area's most comprehensive eye exam. These doctors can also help with dry eye disease, the result of staring at screens, flying in airplanes, or living in a dry environment. Dry eye sounds harmless, but it can cause inflammation, blurred vision, and damage to the eye surface that's sometimes difficult to reverse. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are expert in diagnosis and treatment of dry eye disease. 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-520-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-800-520-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Attention car lovers, Scrubbles is thrilled to announce the grand opening of our brand new Highway K location at 3435 Highway K in O'Fallon, Missouri. Get ready for 4 days of pure excitement and free washes from August 22nd through the 25th. Scrubbles is offering exclusive on-site deals on memberships you won't find anywhere else. Plus, Scrubbles is giving away special promotional items to anyone who purchases a membership while supplies last. Scrubbles Car Wash on Highway K. We make your car sparkle.
In the know, on the go. Trust KMOX for local news that impacts St. Louis and the region. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I got Kamala's voicemail and I just started rambling. Hey, it's Doug. I'm on my way to an early meeting. Again.
That was the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, talking about his wife, Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate for president, Kamala Harris. And I have to say, Ranj, you were a few minutes ahead of me in watching the DNC last night, and you said Doug Emhoff is adorable.
It's kind of adorable.
And I'm not going to lie. It was, I will say, the most relatable, personable, and winsome speech of the night. Different than the power of the Obamas. I get that. But as far as relatable and winsome and engaging and very self-effacing, and not only did Doug Emhoff really humanize Kamala Harris, which is his job, right? He doesn't talk policy.
That's why he's speaking, yeah.
That's why he's speaking, to say, this is my wife, this is a stepmother, and so forth. But he was human himself, which is pretty impressive when you consider his real job. He is a huge, big-time Hollywood studio lawyer. He represents Hollywood studios in massive lawsuits. This guy is a big-time hotshot lawyer in Hollywood, and he came across like the most relatable man on earth. And even when he said he got her number because of a mutual friend, he goes, I don't know when people tell you that you're supposed to text someone to ask them out on a date, but no one says 8:30 in the morning.
And that's when he called.
And that's when he called.
That's.
I think
when he said that, I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? I know. Okay, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And he was an adult like an older adult at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, I ain't calling nobody at 8:30 in the morning for the first time to ask them out. That's literally insane.
And then he talked about, being a blended family and, Kamala Harris, building a relationship with his kids, Emma and Cole. And that's where like Mamala came up. That phrase started. They started calling her Mamala instead of Kamala. The kids did, which is funny. And I get it that nicknames are a big thing in families. I have a nickname. I'm Amo. And so they start calling me Amo. And so it was just so relatable and sweet. And how he said at the dinner table, the kids had to be ready to answer questions like, how are you going to fix the world today? I mean, like I said, I get it. I get that it's a show. I get that his job was to sell Kamala Harris as being human and relatable, but it was an A++.
So
I found myself like, oh my gosh.
Conventions are boring and they are cringy because you get people who are overly excited about politicians, and that's why, generally speaking, I don't like conventions. I would be interested to go to one just to see the atmosphere for myself for once, but watching on TV is not my favorite thing. I do think, in terms of the production last night, what they did, pretty good. It was, and the RNC did really well in the first few days of their convention in Milwaukee.
But the DJ roll call.
Georgia, how do you cast your vote?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what?
All right, so they had Lil Jon there. Georgia brought Lil Jon. So that's up to the states to do that. They decide who's there. Sean Astin was there from Rudy.
From Rudy. It was really funny. And I will say, just this morning on Total Information
For
AM,
Indiana.
Tom Ackerman played that clip and goes, Little John, from Georgia. Missouri brought Russ Carnahan. And then he moved on. Which is very exciting. I love Russ Carnahan. God bless him. But he's not Little John. And I get it. I know it's a show. And we're falling for it. It's a commercial, just like I fall for lotion and shampoo ads. I know they're just trying to sell me.
Yeah.
I fall for push notifications from some of my favorite stores. They're like, you would look great in this dress. I'm like, oh, would I? That's nice of you to say that. And then I get it. I fall for it. The DNC did a good job.
That's what it was. And the roll call was about as fun as anything I've ever seen at a convention. Because they played music. Music specific to every single state. So when it was the state's turn to do their thing, they played a song that was specific. They had like Bruce Springsteen for New Jersey,
for Michigan,
Eminem for New Jersey. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool touch.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the meantime, in the middle, they played a lot of like Motown and just Stevie Wonder, just fun. Here's the thing. I always say I'm a John Lennon idealist with a Jonathan Edwards worldview. No one's going to get that. But like, I'm like John Lennon. I just want everybody to get along. But I have a Jonathan Edwards worldview, which is he was this preacher in the 1800s, basically human nature, right? And we're fallen. Things don't work. Utopian ideas are great, but it doesn't work. The DNC presented as the cooler party, last night. I get it. It was a party.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's
Unfortunately-
supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's what it's
unfortunately,
supposed to be.
I still have my Jonathan Edwards worldview, but they did a good job.
Let's we will take your thoughts on the DNC. If you watched it last night and have some opinions, let us know on the Odyssey app. Tap the mic button and leave us a message. We're going to get Major Garrett's thoughts on the Democratic National Convention. He joins us on a Wednesday. It's a special edition of Major next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Muni's 106th season is almost over, but there's still plenty of seats available for the last show of the season. Anything goes. This Broadway classic is running this week only. If you haven't seen it before, here's your chance. If you have, see it again. It's been an incredible season. This is your last chance this summer to enjoy a wonderful play under the stars at the Muni. Get your tickets at muni.org or call 314-361-1900. You can also go to the box office in Forest Park. See you at the Muni.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join me and my co-host Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the Business of Family Business Saturdays at 2.
Join us. We interview many St. Louis business owners and families and learn a lot and have a good time.
So many interesting stories of passing a business along to the next generation or not, and some great tips as well. It's the Business of Family Business here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX, Saturdays at 2.
Get your laugh on with me, Chris Jericho, and the Talk is Jericho podcast. We've got Guns N' Roses Hall of Famer Duff McKagan and his joke of the week every Friday, plus regular visits from the hilarious Brad Williams and special appearances by everyone from Gabrielle Fluffy Iglesias, Mark Maron, Dennis Miller, Cheech Marin, Kevin Nealon. If they're funny, they're on Talk is Jericho. So listen to and follow Talk is Jericho now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the GelmanTeam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at the GelmanTeam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
At 10:30, we've got clouds. It is 69 downtown at the Arch. Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention is getting underway today. Political analyst Larry Sabato says the 1-2 punch the Obamas delivered last night was about the best he has ever seen at any convention.
The two of them had very different speeches and they focused on different things. But Donald Trump was eviscerated by both Obamas.
The Cardinals lose 3-2 last night, opening up a home series against Milwaukee. Eric Fetty makes the start, going 5 2/3 innings, allowing 2 runs and 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. He takes the loss. Matt Carpenter hits a pinch hit home run to account for both of the Cardinals' runs. Game 2 of the series tonight, the Cardinals will send Kyle Gibson to the mound. The right-hander is 7-5, 6:45 first pitch. Our coverage starts at 5:50. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Clouds and a shower give way to sunshine this afternoon. High 77. Clear tonight, low 59. For tomorrow's sun with a high near 80. Sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. It's 69 right now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
When it comes to retirement, you don't need to worry or sweat the small stuff if you have Sachs Financial on your side. Sachs Financial, home of the Retirement Compensation Plan. SACHS, Sachs Financial, because income is the outcome that matters. RetireSafeSTL.com.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Life can throw us curveballs, like the car accident that put me in a coma 30 years ago. We all have bumps in the road. Lucky for us, we have Renner to get our garage door back on track. Click RENNER door STL.com today. Giddy up!
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus, You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
I'm Dave Glover. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It is Wednesday. Usually we talk to this man on Thursday mornings, adjusting a little bit this week. But Major Garrett, CBS Chief Washington Correspondent, is with us today, author of The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, and 2 podcasts, The Takeout and Agent of Betrayal. So on the Quiver River Electric guest line, we go to Major Garrett this morning. How's it going, Major?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Happy third day of the Democratic National Convention. And in terms of the proceedings last night, or I guess the first 2 days here, both Obama spoke last night. Hillary Clinton on night 1, Joe Biden on night 1. What are your thoughts so far of the convention?
Look, conventions are commercials. Conventions are pseudo news events meant to demonstrate a highly orchestrated, pre-thought, prefabricated message for 2 competing national parties. That's a given. There's nothing original about that observation, but it's worth reminding ourselves that this is the case. The Democratic National Convention and the Republican National Convention both, though, had last-minute script alterations. Milwaukee was different because of the attempted assassination attempt on former President Trump, and how that galvanized all the delegates, made them feel more enthusiastic, more committed, more devoted to him as a person, allowed for that Republican convention to soften his image, a lot of references to grandfatherly Trump that we'd never heard before, and a great opportunity for the former president to sort of catalyze the country with his acceptance speech. For Biden and the Democrats, the script change was Biden himself. And instead of speaking Thursday, as was the plan 6 weeks ago, he spoke Monday. He also had an opportunity to sort of cap this historic moment and put it in context. From my vantage point, comparing the 2 conventions, which is what you have to do, they're not separate events. They are linked because they're opposing one another. Trump missed his opportunity, got off to a good start, then trailed away, meandered, and lost the thread. That's what his campaign concedes. That's not just punditry. That's what they know happened. And many Democrats now realize Biden lost the thread, too. He gave a State of the Union address at 11:30 at night. He could have talked in a way about the history of it, the personal journey that he took, why this is such an important thing, why he's now comfortable being a transitional figure in the history of the Democratic Party, how Kamala Harris is part of an arc that he is part of, which started with Barack Obama, flowed through his vice presidency, then his decision not to challenge Hillary Clinton winning the popular vote, but not being the first woman elected president, tying all this together in some kind of Irish-inspired poetry. There was not one iota of poetry in Biden on Monday night. A lot of thumping policy and State of the Union stuff and, look, Mr. President, I know you love the CHIPS Act, but 11:45 Eastern is not the time for it.
That's a great point. Oof.
Major,
So that's sort of my meta observation about the 2 most important figures at the 2 competing conventions. Kamala Harris will have her moment. Now, secondarily, energy in politics matters a tremendous amount, and especially energy that is quick to coalesce. And the great advantage and the great peril for the Harris campaign is intertwined around this concept of energy and enthusiasm. Because energy is so important, an atmosphere, a kind of feeling that transcends just normal politics, that you're part of something. And it's got a kind of vibe to it that it's kind of engaging, and it brings you closer and it gets you out of your seat. That's all terrific. It's golden in politics, actually. but it can also be fleeting. And the first time that energy is deflated, what happens to it? Does it dissipate or does it rally? And nobody knows the answer. Kamala Harris doesn't know that answer. Tim Walz doesn't know that answer. And no delegate on the floor of the Democratic National Convention floor knows that answer because it hasn't been tested yet. That's why I thought last night it was very interesting and important and revealing what Michelle Obama and Barack Obama said. They both said this race is close. It's always going to be close. There will be bad polls. There will be attacks. There will be times when we will waver. They know that moment's coming. Kamala Harris doesn't know how to manage that yet. Why? Because she's never had to face it. Tim Walz doesn't know how to manage it yet. But the elders of the party told everyone in that room, you will need to rally around these people because there will be hard days ahead. This all feels great, intoxicating maybe, but there will be hard days ahead. And I thought that was not a poetic or a humorous, because there were other lines from Obama, both Obamas, that resonate and be memes and social media and all that stuff. But I think at a strategic level, that was the most piercing insight. Hard times are coming, and we better know what to do with them.
My initial thought, Major, last night, when they went to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in Milwaukee at the exact same venue where the RNC was, I thought that was intentional in terms of a strategy in knocking Trump off of the message. I think their strategy is to keep him from talking about policy for the next 2.5 months. And every time they bring up crowd size or they go to the building he was in and they fill it, even though the convention wasn't even there, that it will get under his skin. Is that the intent?
Sure. And it's also to work on the psychology of Trumpism and former President Trump. And what has become clear in this convention is that this ticket and those who are enthused by it are, for the first time in the history of the Democratic Party, no longer treating Trump as a kind of Godzilla-like figure, meaning this menacing, terrifying political monster who we must be afraid of. Quite the opposite. The orientation toward Trump now is he is small, he is weak, he is a fading fad, and he can and should be mocked. And we will outperform him on metrics of his own choosing, meaning crowd size. Hillary Clinton could not do that. Never. Not on her best day, not with the greatest cast of celebrities who are sympathetic to Democrats. Couldn't do it. Joe Biden had no chance to do that in 2020 because we weren't doing rallies, but everyone knows he would not be able to match Trump's crowd size now. Not possible if he were the nominee. For this moment and for this period of time, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can. And being in Fiserv, which is exactly where the Republican convention was, that is the exact same arena. I was there all 4 nights of the convention. Only on the 4th night did that arena come close to capacity. It was at capacity last night. That is a signal in a crucial state. Remember, for Harris and Walz, everything begins and ends with Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. There is no map that works for them without those 3 states. There just isn't. Of course, they want Nevada, Arizona, Georgia. They would love to get North Carolina. That's now competitive, but you cannot get there without those 3 states. To be in Wisconsin and to fill that building and to appear there and to have all those in the crowd in Milwaukee looking at Chicago and Chicago looking at Milwaukee and saying, we are there in large numbers, and we are going to organize and leave the building and work for the campaign. That's a kind of low-level magic that you did not see. For all the enthusiasm, and it was genuine and real at the Republican National Convention, that's not something that they were able to do. Have a separate event, a separate arena in a battleground state, and radiate that kind of energy. That worked last night for the Democrats.
Major, I thought there were high moments and low moments. I focused on the high moment of Doug Emhoff. I thought he was an A++, but a low moment for me watching. I thought the Bernie Sanders, J.B. Pritzker back-to-back with speeches with Bernie railing against the billionaire class and then J.B. Pritzker bragging about being a billionaire and taking a lot of mean shots. To me, that wasn't a winning combo.
So the night had 2 bursts of genuine energy separated by 3 deadly dull and off-kilter speeches. So the roll call was, I don't know how you could even watch the roll call, even if you're not a Democrat, and say, well, that looked kind of fun.
Looked like so
it's
much
corny,
fun.
it's dopey. It's, all the folks with all their lines about their state and all that. It's very corny, but it's also kind of endearing and deeply American.
Yep.
We're all from different states. We all have our different points of pride and things that we care about. And the DJ, pretty good
great.
DJ. And when I was covering the RNC, I gave props to the house band because they were great. They kept that place rocking. Well, the DJ did a great job. So the roll call had this great bounce to it. And then slam on the air brakes with Chuck Schumer,
yeah,
Bernie Sanders, and J.B. Pritzker. Not one of them encapsulates change or joy or sort of upbeat new way to politics. They are as old and familiar and sort of haggard as can be. So slam on the air brakes. Okay, now you got to bring Doug out, and then Michelle to sort of revive the room, and they most certainly did. But yeah, that was a metaphorical and actual trough. That was the Tuesday trough.
Yeah, it was
Schumer, Bernie, JB, trough.
Can you have a convention and not have the majority leader speak? Is it possible to do that?
Probably not.
Okay, that's what it's unavoidable. They're probably we gotta throw Schumer out there,
right? Look. There are several reasons why, in this particular context, you can't. There has never been a Jewish majority leader of the United States Senate. He is the highest-ranking American political figure who's Jewish. That's a fact. That's a historical part of Charles Schumer's life and the life of the Senate and the life of America. And at this particular time, you cannot not have him there. You also have to have him there because he worked with Kamala Harris in the United States Senate. And it is vitally important for the prospects of the Harris-Walz ticket to have a Democratic Senate or a near Democratic Senate. So every race matters, and having the prominence of Charles Schumer there to underscore that message and remind Democrats that this is not just a top of the ballot question, it's throughout the ballot. You got to do that. You got to check that box. And of the 3, he was the least air brakey of the 3. The other 2 were like just slamming on the air brakes, not because the speeches were terrible or bad. They were just off note for what the larger theme and context of the night was. And coming off the boisterous roll call, it just sort of harshed the mellow, as the kids would say 20 years ago.
When you look at some of the notes that were made or the points that were made, I know Michelle Obama made a point about generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely looked down on a bad thing. And I get how if you're looking at Donald Trump, the man, and he acts like he accomplished so much when really he failed forward, as Michelle Obama said. Do you think there does need to be the idea of passing on wealth, of building a life for yourself and passing it on to your children? There's nothing wrong with that. Isn't that American, to build up your family for generations to come? And should they maybe pump the brakes on pretending like that's a horrible thing?
It's not a horrible thing. However, it is important to recognize that for most Americans, particularly upwardly mobile middle-class Americans, passing on generational wealth is a matter of real estate, meaning a home. And it is an unmistakable and ugly truth of this country that in the 20th century, until very recently, the last 3 or 4 decades, it was not only legal, it was widely accepted and just assumed as a baseline proposition that African Americans could not purchase homes in certain neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Period, end quote. Fact. Gruesome, ugly fact. And to recognize it doesn't make you anti-American. Doesn't make you anti-capitalist. To recognize it is to say this happened, and it should not have happened. And we need to be aware of that that it happened, and what are the ramifications that it happened? Well, if you ask yourself, what is and what has been the means by which more and more Americans can obtain generational wealth, meaning to pass it along from one generation to the other, being able to purchase a home is a way. And if that was denied in the post-World War II era, the boom era of America, unmatched at any time in our history before or since, and Americans were systematically excluded from that, they were systematically excluded from the ability to create generational wealth. Okay? That's what she's getting at there. That yes, it's a wonderful thing. But if you can't have any access to it and you were denied it, it's not a wonderful thing for you. It's a great separator for you. And then you have to keep asking or answering the question, why don't you keep up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I can't have a house, it's hard for me to keep up because a house is a means by which you begin to create that foundation of wealth that can be passed on from one generation to the next. Because for most middle-class families, it was true of my family. Before my parents bought a house, my grandparents rented a house. My parents were the first generation of their family to own a house. Okay? That's how it begins. So that's what that's getting at. I don't think she's saying, and look, people can debate this, and that's what politics are about. But there's something about that we need to ponder and think about when we think about this question of generational wealth. What is its value? But how did it begin?
Oh, well said.
Major, as we say goodbye, who's on the takeout?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find somebody.
Well, yeah, we asked you. This is a day earlier than normal, so
We're available.
yeah. Hey, if you need us,
If you need us,
we're here.
If you can hear in my voice that thread or flicker of panic and fear,
he just threw up a
genuine.
little.
Hey,
It's genuine.
He
I'm
doesn't-
not sure who's on the takeout this week. I hope to have an answer by the end of the day.
it's such a bad situation. He doesn't even want us to have.
I know. He's like,
That's
I'd
okay.
rather have no takeout.
Yeah. We'll just skip it.
We'll just skip it.
Major Garrett, you're the best. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.
Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News and the host of the Takeout podcast and agent of betrayal. His book is The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
A storm safety tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. While you can't predict which weather forecast will come true, you can plan ahead. So when severe weather strikes, you have the tools and resources to weather the storm. Shutter windows and securely close exterior doors. Fully charge all cell phones, laptops, and devices so you have maximum power if there's an outage. For more on severe weather safety, visit quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
How could they make things even better at Genesis of St. Charles? How about 0% financing through the end of August? That's right, 0% financing on fantastic, unbelievable Genesis vehicles, sedans, SUVs, several fully electric models as well. All you need to do is head to Genesis of St. Charles, walk into their beautiful state-of-the-art facility, and get behind the wheel of a Genesis and drive off today. A quarter-mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70 or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's face it, planning for retirement can be overwhelming and stressful. And things like record inflation, rising interest rates, the threat of a recession, and the possibility of Social Security disappearing all feel like roadblocks to reaching that retirement finish line. All of these issues can have a major impact on your life savings. So the question is, what are you doing about it? Join the All Financial Group August 22nd and the 27th at Cooper's Hawk for a presentation providing you with the tools, insight, and proven strategies that can help you overcome these retirement roadblocks. Seating is limited and you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
Rosetta Stone is the expert in language learning for more than 30 years. Right now, Eye on Travel listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership of 25 languages for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to purchase and learn for life.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Monday, September 9th to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited bays remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KMOX.com/events for more information. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KMOX and Topgolf.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? No way!
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Well, this is pretty amazing. You gotta admire ingenuity. $5 million worth of meth was disguised as watermelons. It was found at a California customs checkpoint. A 29-year-old man was driving a commercial tractor trailer when he went through the customs checkpoint in San Diego, and there's all these barrels of what appear to be watermelons. But upon closer inspection, they found 1,220 packages wrapped in paper, disguised, like painted as watermelons within the shipments. So $5 million worth of methamphetamine. The pictures are pretty. I gotta show you. Like, it looks like
they do a good job. Yeah, that looks good. They look like little watermelons.
They do.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is the second day in a row
Yes.
that you've talked about bulk
Drugs.
Yes, levels of hard drugs.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was cocaine.
Washed up on shore.
Washed up on shore. Today it's about meth. Why do you have a particular interest in it the last couple days?
I think it's the disguise
Oh.
and mystery of it all. Also, because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I would be like, look at those watermelons.
Wow. Did you see that, the influencer alpha male scumbag Andrew Tate and his brother were arrested in Romania today?
Oh.
Yeah, they had their home raided by authorities. They are awaiting trial now on charges of human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women.
Oh, geez.
That guy is such an absolute scumbag.
I
If you know
hope,
anybody who follows Andrew Tate or ever quotes him, you may poke them in the eye. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We are hoping to check in with Stuart McMillan, who is on site of the Marcellus Williams innocence hearing. And if he is ready to go, we're going to talk to him when we come back on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
At 11 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, 70 downtown at the Arch. Night 2 of the Democratic Convention saw 2 of the party's biggest stars rip into Donald Trump.
Michelle and Barack Obama echoed their messages of 16 years ago.
I'm feeling fired up.
Hope is making a comeback.
But Barack Obama revved up his attack on Trump.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago.
While the ex-first lady sharply moved from her 2016 message of going high when they go low.
Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of 2 hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
Turning Trump's own words against him.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Transportation issues have plagued St. Louis public schools in the first week of the new school year. Who does the NAACP believe is at fault?
Adolphus Pruitt, the president of the St. Louis NAACP, says the real culprit is the Missouri Central Bus Company, who canceled their contract with the district last spring.
Their failure to
police their facilities and perform as they were obligated under the contract is what put the St. Louis Public Schools in this position in the first place.
In February, a mechanic for the Missouri Central Bus Company found a noose near his workspace, leading to multiple drivers calling out sick in protest. Pruitt says he would like to see a lawsuit filed against Missouri Central, but says they do not have standing to do so. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Most Americans believe AI is okay in healthcare. Correspondent Christian Benavides reports.
While more than half of Americans think artificial intelligence in the doctor's office is a scary thought, most also see the value of AI in healthcare. A survey by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center found 3 in 4 believe AI can minimize human error. About 70% also think AI could be a useful tool to reduce wait times and are comfortable with AI taking notes during an appointment.
66% believe that AI should improve work-life balance for healthcare providers. The KMOX Business Desk, Ford is slowing its development of electric vehicles as it prioritizes hybrids instead.
With billions in electric vehicle losses piling up, Ford is scrapping plans for an electric SUV and delaying an EV plant. Chief Financial Officer John Lawler says they will launch more hybrids.
And that's what's going to be very important, is that we understand the shifting requirements for customers and what they want as we do this transition into more of an electrified future.
Ford will now concentrate on electric vans and pickups for the commercial market. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
The Dow from Stifel down 78 points to 40,756. Roadwork 141 going north at Olive in the right lane. There's a crash on 44 going east at Lewis Road. Another crash on 141 north at 370. That's in the right lane there.
Clouds and a shower or two will give way to increasing sunshine this afternoon with a high of 77. Then clear and cool tonight, though 59. Tomorrow mostly sunny and beautiful with a high near 80. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got clouds. It is 70 in Florissant, 70 St. Peter's, 70 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Stifel.
At Stifel, we put everything into the success of our advisors so they can put everything into your success. That's why we're the top-ranked wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction. Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel, Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. Visit jdpower.com for details.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX, and it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. We've been following the story of Missourian Marcellus Williams, who is set to be put to death a little bit over a month from now here in Missouri. He has been charged and convicted for a murder in 1998, one in which he maintains his innocence. We've also had Wesley Bell on the show, who is the county prosecutor and has been pushing to have him released from prison because of evidence. And today was a hearing on new DNA evidence that is being presented as the effort to get him freed continues. To talk about that with us, who is covering the hearing this morning, Stuart McMillan from the KMOX newsroom is joining us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Good morning, Stuart.
Good morning.
So what is the latest from today?
Well, so far, the motion to vacate hearing has not taken place. It was supposed to start at 8:30 this morning. And since then, there's been virtually no movement from anybody except for Judge Hilton did come out a couple of times and say, you know, I'm the judge, but I'm the last to know exactly what's going to happen next. But apparently the parties are talking, is what the judge is telling us. And those close to the Marcellus Williams side of things were telling us that they are in negotiations. The lawyers are talking, both sides, the Wesley Bell side and the Attorney General side, talking about this case, and there'll either be a resolution, some kind of or something to figure out how to move forward with this hearing. So still waiting for that to happen.
Just to clarify, because I know it's confusing, because Wesley Bell is the prosecuting attorney and he is seeking to vacate Williams' murder conviction. Then you have Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who does not want that conviction vacated. Are those the two sides talking?
Yes, they are talking. I mean, they're representations of the office, so it's not physically Bell and Bailey here, but his represented lawyers are here to chatting about this and doing some kind of negotiations. I asked one of the representatives of the Williams camp if the governor was involved in any of these discussions, and they were not sure.
I guess I'm not quite understanding what's to negotiate. Here's the evidence. Either he's in or he's out. What is? It's not like there's a give and take here.
Yeah. Anything I could offer right now would really just be speculation. As far as what they could be talking about. But in other cases in the past, you've seen where they've had discussions beforehand, kind of a conference between the two lawyers to line up witnesses, and maybe there's not a witness that's available or something like that, and they want to kind of push it off to later. But it's been 2 hours since it was supposed to begin, and the only explanation we've had is just from the judge himself, Judge Hilton, about how they are in talks, the two parties that are working this case.
And I know that there could be testimony for a couple of days. So is Marcellus Williams there today, and is he expected to appear at any time?
If the hearing does take place, he will be in court and will be dressed in normal street clothes according to a court order that allowed him to change out of his prison uniform, I guess, for lack of a better term, into some street clothes. But we have not seen him, but we are told that he is here in the building.
And so the proceedings are expected will they last beyond today, or will there be a resolution today?
There's nothing else on the docket for this particular judge in this courtroom, but that doesn't mean it can't be pushed off to another day. As far as whether they reach an agreement or whether they don't, that's still yet to be seen, because they're still in these negotiations. I'm looking through the courtroom window now, as I'm not allowed to talk in there with you, but just looking through the window, there's still no movement. It's interesting. Every once in a while, lawyers will come in and set some of their books down and their bags, and all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, they'll pick them up and take them someplace else. So it's just this, not much to look at here in the courtroom right now. We're all just wondering what's next.
Yeah, and there's a lot of uncertainty too, because there is a 2021 Missouri law that allows prosecuting attorneys to file a motion seeking to vacate a conviction, like if something like happened here, right? That new evidence shows up to show that the conviction was unjust. Once you have a couple of days of testimony, it can take a couple of months for the judge to rule. But Marcellus Williams has about a month left before his execution date. So I know this is now it is speculation, because we don't even know if this will take place, but it would have to be under an expedited timeline, you would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It would have to be pushed off a little bit. But yeah, he's still set to be executed, Marcellus Williams, on September 24th. So that is, a little bit over a month away from now. So are starting to see some lawyers move into the courtroom. Let me go over there and see what's going on, guys.
Oh, maybe something's happening.
Are you peeking through the window?
I am peeking through the window.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're about to start. I'm going to have to let you go.
All right. Sounds good. Let us know if anything
guys.
changes, Stuart.
Thanks,
We appreciate it.
Okay.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX reporter and anchor here, who is covering the Marcellus Williams innocence hearing that is happening at the moment, and it looks like there's something going on in the courthouse as we speak. Finally, again, as he mentioned, this was all supposed to begin at 8:30. The hearing was supposed to begin at 8:30. It is yet to begin because the defense and the prosecution have been negotiating. We don't know what exactly they have been negotiating, though.
Another question I still have is that inquiry board that was ordered to be put together by Governor Greitens at the time after he did delay the 2017 execution of Marcellus Williams. He delayed it. They had an inquiry board that consisted of 5 retired judges, and they were supposed to look into things, but they never issued a ruling. They never issued a conclusion of any answer about the DNA evidence, and Governor Parson last summer dissolved the board, saying it was time to move forward. Why didn't the board move forward? Why didn't the board issue a ruling? I mean, 2017 years? What were the judges doing? Did they take any action? Former judges on this board. I mean, who are those judges? Were their names on a list? Can we ask them? Did anybody move forward with this? I don't understand how a governor can create this board or have, order the creation of this board and then nothing ever happens.
Don't know, and I don't have an answer for why the Attorney General seems to, lately anyway, have a real. He seems to pursue these issues like Christopher Dunn, like Marcellus Williams, where these men should be freed from prison based on evidence we have, or at least reasonable doubt, and he insists on trying to stop that from happening. And he really wants Marcellus Williams to be put to death.
We spoke
for some
with
reason.
New York Times columnist, formerly of the National Review, David French. He wrote a story about this. How is Missouri about to execute an innocent man? And Marcellus Williams had been guilty of other crimes. That doesn't mean you execute him for a crime he didn't commit.
That's right.
Right? I mean, we have due process here. I mean, that's what our system of justice is built upon. It's a huge part of our Constitution, due process. And if this is a political moment, a political vibe, a political feeling for Attorney General Andrew Bailey, listen, I get it. People want safe neighborhoods. They want to feel that if someone commits a crime, that they will pay the due punishment for that crime, whether it's jail time or whatever it may be. People want to feel that they support the police. I get that. But if you're trying to promote this tough on crime mentality by moving forward with an execution of a man when evidence shows that he most likely did not commit this crime, right? It erases that. It puts in more than a reasonable doubt that he committed this crime. I think what that does is that injects even less trust into the criminal justice system, even less trust into the authorities. This isn't, again, maybe this isn't why he's doing it. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why a attorney general wouldn't want to pursue justice in this unless they think it will look like he's soft on crime. That's not what this is.
You know what I would liken it to, and it's not the same thing, but it's on the opposite end. When we discussed the Michael Brown shooting, and we know that in the country there are many, many real, actual occasions where police have gone way past what they're supposed to do and have killed somebody, straight up murdered somebody. The situation in Springfield with Sonia Massey, for example, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And that's a cop who, by the way, had 4 different law enforcement jobs over 5 years. That's a person who shouldn't have a job as law enforcement. To get behind the wrong one, though, because what was set off in Ferguson, it was people getting behind the wrong thing. Yes, there are actual instances of this that need to be protested and need to be addressed. That, based on the evidence that we saw after the fact, and the FBI, the Department of Justice, all investigated it, and that was not the one to get behind.
No,
that was not the one to riot over. It seems like Andrew Bailey is doing that with this. Like now, he's making a political statement, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's not making a political statement. Maybe he has something else. Feels political because he's done it multiple times with multiple different people now. So this is not the one to get behind like that.
And we did reach out to Attorney General Andrew Bailey, correct? And he said he was not able to join us at the time. I would love to reach out to him
Sure.
again. And,
And also, we reached out to Marcellus Williams himself, and he declined.
he
to speak.
declined. Yeah, he respectfully declined. Andrew Bailey as well. I would, if Andrew Bailey is available and can talk to us, because I do have questions.
Sure.
Because like I said, I get that you do want to be tough on crime, criminals do their due justice,
But
and all
this
that.
isn't the one.
But this, to me, I have a ton of questions about this because of the new evidence. Why wouldn't you want to take new evidence? And when that new evidence is being brought by the prosecuting attorney in that county, this is a local prosecuting attorney saying, "Hey, this one we got wrong. New evidence shows us this conviction should be vacated." So I would love to talk to Attorney General Bailey and ask him why. I would love
Sure.
to know, because I don't want to speculate.
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. But do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At Fira Capital Management, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call Fira Capital Management today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. Fira Capital Management, 314-328-4400. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Firm may not give tax advice.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are focusing on lung cancer, and joining me is Dr. Whitney Brandt.
Treatment of lung cancer has really made dramatic changes over the years. Lung cancer screening, more patients are getting detected earlier, and survival is getting better. In addition, just with patients who have more advanced cancers, there are better treatments.
Special thanks to Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to seidman.wustl.edu.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty, reminding you why pay more than $4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than $4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri. It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can host the best backyard barbecue
when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
KMOX, where every crack of the bat resonates with tradition, passion, and the spirit of Cardinals Nation.
The 7 things I hate about you. The 7 things I hate about you.
All right, here's a list that's been going viral, and I thought I would ask my two very single co-hosts about it. It is a list of the least attractive hobbies for men according to women. Now, as a massive disclaimer, I don't know where this list came from. Everywhere that I go, it's just a screenshot. I can't find the original source. It could be 200 women listening to some random FM station in Potosi. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but there are now millions and millions of responses to this. And so I thought I should ask you two gentlemen, because maybe you indulge in some of these hobbies and it's driving the ladies away. And let me be clear, these are hobbies, not character traits or habits.
These are things that men do that drive away women.
Not things, hobbies.
Yes, hobbies. Hobbies.
Because leaving the toilet seat up or being too quiet or whatever. That's not it. This is
thing
hobbies.
you do for an activity.
For fun.
I understand what a hobby is.
Do you?
Do you know what a hobby is, Matt?
No.
So
Explain more.
My guess is video games is top of the list. Or top 5.
Matt, do you concur or dissent?
I do. I concur.
Video games was the number one. Playing video games. So there's an unattractiveness score out of 100. Playing video games ranked 90.
Okay.
It had a 90 score on the unattractiveness scale.
Fantasy sports. Fantasy football. That's got to be on there.
Fantasy football is not on this one.
It isn't?
No.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
What about
that is interesting.
Sports gambling or
gambling
in general?
Gambling is on. Gambling is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's number 5 on the list. It has an unattractiveness score of 70.
Okay.
And that's to me, that's understandable, especially if you're gambling too much and you're a lady
you're
looking for a man.
and
You're like, this guy's making bad choices.
Or if all you think about is placing a bet.
Right.
I like betting. It just it doesn't rule my life.
I would say if you're a lady and you're dating a guy who is obsessed with gambling, keep your own bank account.
Okay. What about collecting bugs? Is that on there?
Okay. No, but it is collecting. There are 2 collecting things.
Toenails.
No,
baseball cards. Baseball cards, is that one?
No.
Collecting Star Wars toys.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Number 2 is collecting figurines.
Yeah, see? 40-year-old virgin.
Is it?
His whole apartment is full of action
collecting
figures.
It has a score of 85.
Collecting figurines. Okay, what else is? I don't know what else there would be.
What if I don't know if this is a hobby, but going out too much, drinking or smoking with friends.
I don't know if that's considered a hobby.
I think that's more of a lifestyle habit.
Yeah.
A hobby would be like tennis.
Yeah, okay.
Which is not on the list.
Oh gosh, what else could it be?
Games.
Cars. Being really into cars. Is that on the list?
No, but there is being into something with wheels.
Bicycles? Motorcycles. Motorcycles.
Unicycles.
Unicycles?
No.
Is it motorcycle?
No.
Being into something on wheels?
A little thing with wheels. Miniature things with
RC
wheels.
cars? Oh, model cars?
Model.
Trains?
Yes.
That's old. That's old guys.
Building model trains.
Model trains are cool.
Is that I don't know a lot of 35-year-old guys who build model trains, but that had an unattractiveness scale of 65. Again, I don't know, guys. I don't know where this list came from. It could be a guy in his basement, right?
Is there anything else we're missing? What else is on there?
Yeah, there's when it came to collecting, comic book collecting.
Oh, comic books, yeah.
Was ranked an unattractiveness of 55. I was really surprised by this because I just didn't know it was a thing. Number 3 on the list, behind collecting figurines, is magic tricks.
Magic tricks? I hate people who do magic. I hate it. Do you know
I have a lot of girlfriends, right? There who are dating guys and stuff, and all my friends, or I should say friends who are girls, they're dating guys. Never once have they said, "This guy, he's awesome," but he kept doing magic tricks.
Oh my God. I'm going to tell you something I despise.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't think it's still on anymore, but it was the Carbonaro effect or Carbonero,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the guy's name is, where they, it's a hidden camera.
Yep.
He does magic
I've
in
seen
front of
that.
people. There is nothing more annoying than a dude who does magic and who's like, let me push my magic trick onto you. I'm like, hey, man, I just want to buy gum. Can you get the hell out of my face, you loser?
Another one, which I was surprised, taxidermy. If you're super into taxidermy.
Taxidermy. There are like 5
Maybe
people in the
hunters?
whole world into taxidermy.
Is it hunters who have like all the deer and raccoon in their basement?
Maybe.
And then the last one, which leads me to believe that this list was made at Del Mar Gardens, along with the modeling trains. The last one is bird watching.
Oh.
And so one of the responses says, I do not believe for 1 second that there's a single woman out there who would break things off with an otherwise attractive man on the fact that he was too interested in bird watching.
What is wrong with bird watching? You ever watched a hummingbird? Those
They're
things
amazing.
they're amazing.
Maybe this is like Del Mar Gardens or something, because taxidermy, bird watching, and collecting model trains seems to be like
I imagine
old
the
people.
age of women that Pajewski dates, they would say, I liked him, but he watches hummingbirds. He has a hummingbird feeder outside. Hey, the Cardinals, they dropped one last night. They dropped a big one last night.
Oh.
And we're going to talk about them and where they go from here and what the hell is happening. Tom Ackerman, our sports director here at KMOX. He's next.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had heard about 3-day kitchen and bath. I kind of always dismissed it thinking, well, nobody can do that in 3 days. I wanted somebody who was going to come when they said they would come and, do what they said they were going to do. What I liked best was having it done in, less than a week, the whole thing from top to bottom. Nobody could believe that I really had it done that fast. They absolutely held up to every single thing that they agreed to. I especially loved the fact that I didn't have to go out all over town. The overall quality was very good. All the workmanship was so excellent. They'll definitely do exactly what they say they're going to do. There's no surprises, no added costs later. They stay until everything's exactly the way you want it, and you're done.
Thanks, Lori. Check us out online at 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
At 11:30, we've got clouds. It is 71 degrees downtown at the Arch, covering the Marcellus Williams case.
Live on the scene.
KMOX's Stuart McMillan at the courthouse downtown. Stuart.
Michael, the latest in this case, we've been waiting for a motion to vacate hearing since about 8 o'clock this morning, and that has now put into temporary recess until 1 o'clock. Judge Hilton is telling us here at the St. Louis County Courthouse that the lawyers on both sides of this case are diligently trying to come with some resolution, saying a consent judgment could be coming for him to consider. Again, temporary recess until 1 o'clock. We'll have more at the top of the hour. At the courthouse, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
We've got a crash on 141 North at 370 in the right lane. Some road work on Lindbergh going south at Chaminade. That's got the right lane closed. And also Lindbergh North at Ladue. That's on the right shoulder. And the weather is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. Gives way to sunshine this afternoon. These clouds. High today 77. For tonight clear. Low 59. For tomorrow sunny with a high of about 80. Right now it is 71. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a Banner day.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
St. Louis City SC and Schnucks are teaming up for a week-long food drive now through August 25th. Visit your local Schnucks to donate non-perishable food items benefiting Operation Food Search. And join us Wednesday, August 21st at the DePere Schnucks to donate and be one of the first 150 people in line starting at 3 p.m. to meet City SC players. Join the effort to help City SC and Schnucks fight hunger in our region. Find out more at stlcitysc.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onderlaw, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onderlaw takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
For everything St. Louis Cardinals, it's Cardinals Conversations. Use the Odyssey app or hear it on your favorite podcast platform. From game analysis, player and management interviews, it's exclusive Cardinals content from KMOX Sports, where the Redbird talk never stops. Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Williams has the sign, the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and the Brewers take game one as Devin Williams picks up the save. 3 strikeouts in the ninth. The Cardinals, despite having the bases loaded, cannot score in the ninth. And the Cardinals drop another 1-run game by a score of 3-2.
Well, normally we talk to John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals, on Wednesday morning at 8:30, but he had some things to take care of today. So in his stead, we are visiting with Tom Ackerman, sports director here at KMOX, who's
Hi,
with
Chris
us.
and Amy.
What's going on, Tom?
What's up?
You know, we appreciate you hanging out with us, and we need to know what in the hell is going on.
What in the hell is going on with this team? They're losing and they're not scoring. And you know, they scored on Friday and Saturday against the Dodgers, hit 3 home runs each game and only got 1 win out of it. And even Saturday, when they hit 3 home runs, they know that they had a problem. They were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They won that game 5-2 and could have won it like 10-2, you know, against the Dodgers, but they won it 5-2. It's like every game that they're in, they've got to make it close. 7-6, the Friday game, they come out blasting home runs, and then they pull Miles Michaelis in the bullpen, gives up the lead, and they lose the game 7-6. It's like every game something goes wrong, but really what the problem has been consistently is lack of offense, and it happened in the last game against the Dodgers. They took a day off. They came out, and the same thing happened yesterday against the Brewers. They scored 2 runs. They scored them late, and the same old story in the 9th inning. It's actually the story of the season. It's like on repeat over and over and over again. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 9th, chance to win the game. Goldschmidt strikes out, Gorman strikes out, ball game. And you know, we've seen it a million times, whether it's a strikeout or a ground out for a double play or Just the air out of the balloon over and over again. And that is the story of the season for the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that thought that they could put together a veteran rotation, add a couple of pieces here and there, keep pretty much the same offense, but tweak the bullpen and the rotation, and that'll fix it. And what happened is the opposite of last year. Last year, they didn't have pitching, and the offense thought it had to score 7-8 runs a game to win games. And this year, the pitching's been all right, and the offense has been non-existent, and it has put stress on the pitching staff, actually, and it has been a problem.
So now, since the deadline, they are 5-12, or it might be 5. No, it's 5-12. 5-12 in the month of August.
In August.
Okay. It's you would have to imagine, unless things turn around quickly, that what they did at the deadline didn't work. It doesn't mean you don't try to address those problems, but maybe what it means is they didn't address them well enough.
They went in at the deadline as buyers. Clearly, they went in and said, let's go get this pitcher, Eric Fetty. He is one of the best starters on the market. Go get him. And we could use a right-handed bat. You know what? Let's bring back Tommy Pham. And the same deal, they pulled it off. And I'm not going to be a phony. At the time when they made the deal, I thought, that's a pretty good trade, actually. Did you see Tommy Edman last night? He made an unbelievable play for the Dodgers, diving at shortstop like Ozzie Smith. I mean, it was now the Cardinals have their shortstop, though. They have Mason Wynn. They have second base. They have center field, you think. And Edman really didn't have a place. So they make the deal. They get Fetty and Pham, and it starts out great. Pham hits a grand slam, and everybody's riled up. But Fetty has been not as good as what they hoped. Pham started to regress a little bit. He's obviously an important part of the team. The overall psyche of the team, the overall attitude of the team seemed to change when they added him. So I can't go back and say they shouldn't have done that. And could they have addressed it all at the trade deadline? I'm not sure they can do that either. I think this is a long-term issue. I think this is just years of slowly regressing and years of, like having the blinders on and saying, this is the way we do things. We're not going to look at other teams. This is how the Cardinals do it. We're going to do it our way. And we are going to stay the course. And it might be time where you look back and now look ahead and say, the best way to do this is not that way. The best way to do this is like anybody in business. If you want to have a successful business, you look and see what the other guys are doing. What are they doing that makes them so good? Let's go steal that guy. Let's go get that coach. Let's go get that instructor. Let's go get that front office guy. Let's add him. Let's pay him and bring him or her into the organization and say, you know what? Let's steal a couple of the Dodgers people, the Orioles people, the teams that seem to have it figured out, and take some of their ideas and add it to the mix, and then see what we can do to restructure this thing.
Is there a reluctance to pay for that, though? And that's really the issue. If you want somebody from outside the organization, you're gonna have to pay for it.
I think it's a reluctance to just say we're going to go do that. I think that they have been the St. Louis Cardinals for a long time, well over a century. The Cardinals have this great history of doing things well, and everybody always looked up to the Cardinals. They have it figured out. They always find the right players. They always make the right moves. They're always in the playoffs. They always make a run. Well, that's not the case anymore, and it's probably an internal look and say, 2023 was not an anomaly. 2023 was a prelude to 2024, and here we are missing the playoffs back-to-back years, and it appears certainly that that's going to be the case, that it's time for us to say we've got to change direction into how we are operating. And in my opinion, Chris and Amy, that is going and finding people from other organizations, stealing people from other organizations and putting them. You don't think people would jump at the chance to revive a sleeping giant, which is what the Cardinals are? Of course they would. I mean, this is baseball heaven. I mean, people love to be part of an organization and a fan base that eats, sleeps, and breathes baseball. That's what I would do.
But when you look at the Cardinals, like you said, their past and the way they did things, and they had a really successful farm system. They had a lot of homegrown pitchers, like starters that were just, it seemed to be just franchise players, and they were pushing those out. over and over again. And then it stopped. They don't have that right now. Why does it stop?
It all goes back to that too. Going to the very, very beginning as to why is this organization not cranking out top talent, and why are opportunities not being given to some who go on to do great things and for other organizations? Why is that happening? And those are questions that need to be answered. So if they could solve it today, I'm sure they could, but it can't do that. You have to really, it will be a process. I think that the Blues tended to, admit to themselves that we have hit a wall here. We've got to restructure. So, well, we're going to stay competitive, but we're going to admit to you that it's time for us to go get younger, and we need to figure out what happened and then restructure who we are and go build this thing back to being a championship without stripping it down to nothing. We're going to still be a contender, but we're going to tell you right now that we're going to build around a couple of young guys and go. And that might be what they have to do. And then, you go way into the depths of what the minor league system is, and you have to draft and develop and, again, bring in new sets of eyes down at those minor league levels and evaluate that talent and figure out which ones get better opportunities. I mean, they just drafted one heck of a kid. This JJ Weatherholt is a player, and, you want to be able to guide him into the major leagues. He's not that far away. I'm talking about the guys who are down in single A and try to find out what's the best path for them. And I do think that it will take a good hard look at who they are as an organization moving forward.
Do they have to make any adjustments in terms of what they're willing to commit in free agency?
I think a little bit, but yeah, they spend a fair amount. I don't know that they always come out on top on some of their spending, but they do spend. I mean, last year their spend was to go find a top starter, and they got one in Sonny Gray, and then they did 1-year deals for Lynn and for Gibson. They spent a pretty good deal of money for Miles Michaelis to keep him in the rotation. He has not had a good year. But, they felt like at the time that was a smart move to keep him going. They have handed out contracts to some of their players, and it has not worked out, their own players, going out though and spending in free agency. Do they have the money to do it? They do have money. But you have a fear, I think, if you're the Cardinals, of getting into a bidding war with the Dodgers, Yankees, and some of the big dogs who have unlimited funds. That's not a very good play. But yeah, spending a little bit more on free agency certainly would help. I do think, though, it's from the top down and from the very, very inside of this system, and trying to make sure that you have the right foundation, that you're teaching the right things there, that you're bringing up the players and finding the right players to fit what you want to accomplish. I mean, I look at these other teams and it's like, they're promoting stars in Major League Baseball, this guy, that guy, about left, right. And where are the Cardinals players being talked about in Major League Baseball? And where, every commercial for Major League Baseball used to have a Cardinal in them somewhere, so you just don't want to become.
Well, it happens now, but they're with other teams.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't want to become just another baseball team. This is the Cardinals we're talking about. Let's not mess around. And if I'm the Cardinals, I'm trying to get back to that and get back to it pronto. The one thing you do not want is apathy. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen, is that, negative is fine. I'm, everyone's
that
like,
is exactly right.
Cardinals fan base is so angry.
That's
so what?
Exactly right.
They're engaged.
That's what you want.
You want them engaged.
Look, I was with a team where people checked out. When people check out, that's when it's awful. That's when it turns into miserable. Nobody cares about it. Being working within the organization or around it or covering it. You might as well be covering a funeral. No one cares.
That's tough.
Nobody cares about what the team is doing. As long as Cardinals fans are upset, that's fine. But you better not get to the point where they don't care anymore.
They care. They absolutely care, and they will let you know. And that's exactly what you want. And you want to get those fans back that have said, you know what, I'll come back.
And it wouldn't take much
when you fix it. They'll come back, but you got to fix it. You got to give them something. That the Cardinals are one of the jewels of Major League Baseball and one of the most celebrated franchises in sports. It won't take a lot to get them back, but you got to get them back. You do not want to go down the path of oh, the Cardinals are playing today? I didn't know that. Or
Yeah, that's
I
no
haven't
good.
been down to the ballpark in a while, or my kids don't care about the Cardinals, or anything like that. Those are not good signs. You want to keep the fire going.
I know a lot of fan bases are passionate, and I get that. They take great pride, but maybe it's because we're a Midwestern city, we're St. Louis, we're not as sexy as LA, right? We're not Miami, we're not New York. And maybe because of that, I do feel like our very selfhood is tied in with the Cardinals. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's very personal for St. Louisans. I think the Cardinals team, it represents us. It represents our city just as much as the Arch does. I feel like that's why you want the team to succeed. Every fan base is passionate. I get it. But I do think in St. Louis, it's very personal.
It is very personal. The Kansas City Chiefs are very personal to Kansas City. The Green Bay Packers are important to Green Bay. The Detroit Red Wings were an absolute beast for years and years, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit. And those fans would love to get back to being a giant again. It is definitely a brand, and it's bigger than St. Louis. It's way, and I know that people in our listening audience understand this. The Cardinals are way bigger than St. Louis. The Cardinals are a regional draw. People plan their vacation in the summer to come to St. Louis to watch the team. Arkansas, you could make the argument easily that the biggest team in Arkansas is the Razorbacks, and right behind them is the Cardinals. I mean, it is a huge, huge sport in many states outside of ours and Illinois. So it's a big deal, and it's important to remember. And I really think that it's not that far away, but you cannot take for granted anything. You've got to go push the gas pedal down if you're the Cardinals. I certainly struggle with a losing season, but I also am a big picture guy, and the Cardinals season is like 365 to me. Like the season blends into the offseason, into the next season, and it's a machine that runs, and hopefully the Cardinals can figure out a way to get this thing rolling again.
Tom Ackerman, we appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
buddy.
in and talking with us and talking us down or talking us up, whatever it is.
You know what? Hang in there. Hang in
All
there.
right.
I know this is difficult, but KMOX is always there for you. Open forum. We love talking about it. We will be here.
That's right. Hey, we have a new,
We have a new-
voice messaging
I
feature
love
on the
voice
Odyssey app.
I like the voice message.
Isn't
feature.
it great?
It is a good
You're
little,
listening
that
to
little
KM
microphone icon.
Yeah, you're listening to KMOX on the Odyssey app. You see that little mic icon, you tap on it, you go, what is this? Oh, it records. Oh,
Yeah.
It counts down. It goes 3, 2, 1, go.
I love
And then
it.
you start talking, and then you hit send, and then we get to hear it.
Do it now. We want to hear
Let
from
me
you.
let me
now.
leave you with something warm to think about.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
100 years ago today, Jack Buck
That's right.
was born. Today,
Mr. Buck's birthday.
and you know what? He would appreciate this conversation that we're talking about the club. We're being real. We're being upfront. We understand the tradition. It's time to be better.
And how about this? He was 1 year old when KMOX became a thing.
Wow.
Actually, would he be? Yeah, he'd be just over a year old.
Wow.
It's also my
When
daughter's
KMOX
18th
was
birthday.
created.
So I love that she shares a birthday.
It's
with
her
us.
18th birthday?
Yeah, I know.
Happy
I have an
birthday.
18-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Erica.
go
All right.
celebrate
Okay.
with your
Yes,
family
go
now.
celebrate.
Thanks
Happy
for having me.
birthday.
Sports director Tom
the best.
Ackerman with us on KMOX.
Here's the pitch. Swinging along one to right field. Adios! And the Cardinals lead 4-3 on a long blast by Willie McGee.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're from Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
The pitch.
Do you dream about calling Cardinals games?
Goldschmidt swings and he hits.
If so, the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum is for you. Learn about play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and working with pro athletes for the best broadcasters in the business. John Rooney, Chip Carey, Rick Horton, Brad Thompson, and more. The Sportscasters Forum is Thursday, September 19th at Live by Lowe's. Tickets include 3 educational sessions, lunch, and a ticket to that evening's Cardinals game. For details, go to MissouriBroadcasters.org.
This is Megan Lynch from the KMOX Newsroom, inviting you to donate blood with the American Red Cross at the KMOX Blood Drives in memory of my colleague, Brett Bloom. Get your blood flowing and be part of a life-saving team this summer. Join us Thursday, August 22nd from 2 to 7 p.m. at several locations near you. Come give blood for a $20 Amazon.com gift card by email. To schedule your appointment, visit redcrossblood.org and use sponsor code KMOX. Thank you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Home values are sky high and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked, so if you're thinking about selling, it's time, except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or NewboldToyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. And when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin. And bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
I'm Rachel Zimmerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Are you going to Doobie on Saturday?
Doobie. Let's see. Let me think about this. I think I Doobie don't want to go. I'm not going.
Or not Doobie?
Not Doobie for me.
What?
No,
You're
but you know
insane.
what?
It's the Doobie Brothers with Steve Winwood.
I know. I know. Listen.
No, you're insane.
Amy.
If you don't Doobie on Saturday, what is the point of life? It's the Doobie Brothers and Steve Winwood.
I feel like there are many other things that I would rather Doobie.
No,
Listen,
you're wrong, though.
Okay, Amy, we can give away tickets for somebody else to go, though.
Let's give away tickets to someone who's going to appreciate it. Someone who, like me, gets that Saturday night is going to be lit with the Doobie Brothers and Steve Winwood.
Okay. Let's give away those tickets. We have a pair of tickets to give away.
12th caller.
12?
Yep.
For how many games the Cardinals are out of first? Why are you doing that? That's not nice. In honor of the amount of games out of first the Cardinals are,
That's the comeback.
we're looking for caller number 12 to the contest line at 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Caller 12 gets to go see Doobie Brothers and Steve Winwood on Saturday at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Good luck.
It's going to be so much fun.
Tomorrow we'll give away tickets, and Friday we'll give away tickets as well. So if you miss out today, you still have a couple more chances.
But you are running out of time.
You are.
Every day that you don't win is one less day for you to win.
And listen, I'm looking at the phone.
Oh,
the
no.
phone bank here. These doofuses are calling the regular number.
Call the contest
The
line.
contest line, folks.
314-955-1120.
If you call the regular number, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to win.
You're not going to win no tickets. All right. A lot has been happening. More on the Democratic National Convention from last night, and it gets going again today. We will hopefully have some sort of update from the Marcellus Williams innocence trial. All of that, or innocence hearing, rather, that is all coming up. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's August already. Summer is over. The kids are going back to school, but it might be a perfect time for you to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck and start planning ahead for next spring and summer. Or maybe you're thinking about ways to use your outdoor space more year-round. Well, Chesterfield Fence and Deck does a fantastic job with custom sunrooms and screen rooms so that you can really get a 3 or 4 season use and really enjoy fall and winter in your outdoor space. They also do a great job at Chesterfield Fence and Deck with fences and decks, patios, pergolas, and so much more. So whether you're looking to get a project done this year or planning ahead for next, they do free in-home design and free in-home estimates, or stop by and see Chesterfield Fence and Deck at their beautiful showroom and warehouse in the Chesterfield Valley. Mention me, Debbie Monterey, and they'll offer you 20% off your next project. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Visit them online now at chesterfieldfence.com.
At 12 noon, we've got clouds at 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. Tim Walz headlines tonight's Democratic Convention session.
Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention will feature Walz accepting the party's vice presidential nomination. He'll speak after former President Clinton, a day after ex-President Obama gave Walz running mate Kamala Harris a rousing endorsement.
Yes, she can.
He and wife Michelle took turns blasting Donald Trump.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will be among the other speakers tonight. Harris will address the convention tomorrow. Sagar Magani, Washington.
A new poll shows that both Democrats and Republicans vying for the White House are fighting for the vote of young people who are very skeptical of the three branches of government.
There are highly engaged Gen Zers at the Democratic National Convention who want to
be a voice for the people who are out there who think that the young vote doesn't matter.
But the poll shows just over half of 12 to 27-year-olds surveyed have very little trust in the presidency. 53% have very little trust in Congress, and 44% say the same about the Supreme Court. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The Gallup Walton Family Foundation poll finds that voting age members of Gen Z have less trust in most institutions than middle and high school aged people in that group. President of the St. Louis NAACP says St. Louis Public Schools, former bus contractor, should be sued.
Adolphus Pruitt says they do not have standing to sue themselves, but believe the company should be held responsible for putting SLPS in their current transportation mess.
I think that any harm that is brought to the students, that I believe they bear some financial responsibility for.
Pruitt adds he would like to see the city invest some of the Rams settlement money into the St. Louis Public Schools, potentially to give them their own bus system. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It appears having the St. Louis County Council members have private legal representation separate from the county councilor is on track for passage.
Councilman Ernie Tracus is against the bill. Chairwoman Shalonda Webb introduced a substitute bill.
We had a committee of the whole meeting concerning this legislation in order for the council to have a separate attorney. Got feedback from that audience, and then we also had a legal opinion provided to us by our lead counsel.
Last week, the council went into closed session and no one had public comments because they did not return until nearly 2 hours later. Councilman Ernie Tracus.
With all due respect to the chair, this substitute number 2 does little, if anything, to address the numerous legal infirmities in the proposed language of the ballot initiative.
If passed, it will have to go before voters this November. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, grocery aisle deals for cash-strapped consumers and an emphasis on affordable but stylish clothes has helped Target reverse a year-long sales slump. But department store chain Macy's reported another weekly sales decline today and said sales for the fiscal year will be weaker than expected. The Dow from Stifel up 26 points to 40,861. Stall 270 going north at 64 on the right shoulder. That has just been cleared. Some road work on 67 Lindbergh north at Union. That's got the left lane closed.
Cloudy through midday with a shower or two around, then becoming partly to mostly sunny as the afternoon wears on. High 77. Clear, cool tonight, low 59. Sunny tomorrow, high near 80. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis leading air conditioning and repair service. Cloudy sky, 71 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Charlie Brennan here. If your AC stops working, don't suffer. Design Air Heating and Cooling offers same-day emergency service. Call Design Air at 314-739-1600. DesignAirService.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Hi, just finished listening to Major Garrett. I just love him because he explained generational wealth perfectly. I've been trying to explain that to my friends, and I guess I don't know how to explain things. So love him. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Dee. Leaving
Thank
us
you.
a message on the Odyssey app. You can just tap that mic button and record what you have to say.
And it's such an important aspect to understand when you look at generational wealth and how for hundreds of years our system was set up with legalized racism and prejudice that the laws were set up to keep Black people from owning homes, from building wealth. And so, you know how sometimes you can drive around, like I went to Memphis and you see these homes like, oh, old money. Or you drive around some of the beautiful homes in St. Louis and like, oh yeah, that's old money. St. Louis has a lot of old money. There is not old money in the Black community in the way that there is in the white community because they legally were not allowed to own homes. And that is so important when you want to understand the history of our country. And Major Garrett did an excellent job of explaining what Michelle Obama was saying.
Yeah. And that a great example of it is in some cases, there was black wealth 100 years ago, but like what happened in Tulsa with the massacre that occurred there, which, by the way, is insane. If you know anything about the Tulsa race massacre, it's insane that we didn't learn about it in school. I can't believe that something that was that big of a deal, with that many people who died, with the amount of people who had wealth literally stolen from them and their houses burned, that we didn't learn about that in high school. And really, I think the first time I heard about it was right after college. I had never heard that story. But the point is, it just doesn't exist in the same way. And I don't even think that's what Michelle Obama was necessarily getting at last night. I think during the DNC night 2 of the convention, I think what she was trying to say is there's a difference between being able to pass along something to your kids like a house, like Major Garrett told us, or your dad giving you tens of millions of dollars when he passes away.
Yeah.
That's a much, much different thing that almost none of us will ever experience.
No, we won't. And like I said, for those that do accomplish that, that's fine. I mean, you build a great company. There's nothing wrong with that. Achieving great success in this country, starting a business that then grows and becomes national. But again, you have to understand that there were groups of people who didn't have that opportunity in the same way that, learning how our infrastructure was put in when you have highways and interchanges that a lot of wealthy white neighborhoods didn't want. So then these roads would go through black neighborhoods, and that brings down property
or
values.
Separate the white neighborhoods from the black neighborhoods.
Right.
Which
and
is why when you hear other side of the tracks was a literal thing for a while.
Right. And again, too, even if it wasn't officially segregation, if it was a community that was underprivileged at that time, a low-income community, and it had, more minority families there, then they were disproportionately hurt. And I will just go back, I'll close it out with one of my favorite lines that I think is so important, because I do believe the American dream is alive, and this is such a great country through which you can succeed. But as David French says, the consequences of 345 years of legalized racism cannot be undone in the 60 plus years since the civil rights movement. You can't just undo that right away. It takes time.
Right.
And what he means by that is we have to actively help to rectify the sins of our past.
And I would say this to people who hate this conversation and are tired of it. Nobody's telling you that you right now are racist, or that people who are white are racist, or that we should feel guilty now for something that happened 100 years ago. That's not what that means. It means be mindful that it happens and have a little empathy about it. You're not being blamed for it. You're not being punished for it. It's just be mindful about it. And there's literally nothing wrong with us being mindful of that stuff.
No, I agree. And I will just say that's why I do think like Robin DiAngelo with White Fragility and Ibram X. Kendi, who were saying you are guilty, I think that really hurt the movement to learn and be mindful.
Yeah, but that's not the mainstream viewpoint on that, and it shouldn't be. Also, last night at the DNC, Barack Obama spoke right after Michelle Obama, and Obama had one really, I thought was a funny moment when he was talking about the vice presidential pick, the running mate for Kamala Harris, Tim Walz.
Born in a small town, served his country, taught kids, coached football, took care of his neighbors. He knows who he is, and he knows what's important. You can tell those flannel shirts he wears don't come from some political consultant. They come from his closet, and they have been through some stuff.
The really funny part about that is they've got the camera on Walz's wife, Gwen, who's sitting there. And as soon as he mentions the closet with the flannel shirts, she's like, yes.
Mortified.
Yes, because she probably hates his wardrobe, which is so relatable. Because I know so many couples and The woman in the couple will be like, oh my God, I hate his clothes. I hate that he keeps wearing this thing.
Yeah, I know. It
Throw
was,
that shirt away.
Listen, when I was watching the speeches of three people, and specifically Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman of the United States, very relatable, personable, and winsome. He humanized both Kamala Harris and himself because I totally forgot that he is a big shot Hollywood lawyer. That was great. Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, very different styles of speaking, both very effective. It made me realize how far the bar has fallen when we had Joe Biden because of age and Donald Trump because of Donald Trump. Like how far we had fallen when it came to people speaking. This is like a quick note, but I heard this story that Bill Clinton, right? Obviously he's got issues, but he was a talented politician. His very first State of the Union address, the teleprompter broke. And there were no words on the screen. He gave the first 8 minutes of his first State of the Union address from memory, almost verbatim. That's a skill. I mean, that is a skill to be able to maintain your composure, to be able to speak. And again, we had one candidate on the Democratic side, and Joe Biden, who struggled to speak or to stay awake or whatever you want to say. And we have another candidate who struggles to stay on point because he just goes off on tangents that are impossible to follow.
Yeah.
So it is good to see that there is an art to politics and speaking matters, because when you're a leader, people need to see a strong, capable leader. Even if you disagree with their policies, they need to see someone who's strong and capable.
Before we move on to other news, and I thought that there were a couple of speakers last night I didn't really need. You're not going to, I don't need Chuck Schumer.
J.B. Pritzker, I thought was awful.
I thought J.B.
He was awful.
Pritzker's billionaire moment, I know it was a dig and it was a shot. I don't think his speech was awful. I think that moment was unnecessary. I'm a real billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. I definitely don't need that because I don't have the fondest opinion of the billionaire class as it is. So, and I don't think most people do. I don't need that stuff. I don't need him to crow about how much money he has and he has more than Donald Trump. I don't need that stuff. And Bernie was just boring because Bernie was delivering the same message he always does.
Gives.
Yeah.
I know we're spending time on this, but I think it's worth talking about. And I do want to give you my opinion as a conservative, as a Republican, watching the Democratic National Convention. We mentioned the roll call, how it was cheesy and it had a DJ and all the states were kind of saying fun facts about their states. To me, it was so fun and so American. I love how the states are proud of it. You know, each state is proud of its own state.
Of something.
Of
yes.
something. They're like, we're so cool. We're New Hampshire. We're
Texas.
Texas.
It was the New Jersey. I forgot who it was that spoke for New Jersey who said, we're from New Jersey and you're not.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
funny.
fun.
And it's an East Coast attitude that I kind of enjoy.
And so, yes, it's cheesy, but the DJ was awesome. I want to hire that DJ for a party. I mean, it was so fun. The music was fun, right? And there is something very American about it. And I felt like I'm so proud to be in this country where we have so much freedom of thought and freedom of speech, right? And then with Doug Emhoff, right, really just humanizing Kamala Harris in such a great way. That was his job. Or you mentioned the shirts, the flannel shirts.
The flannel shirts, yeah.
How Gwen Walls, Tim Walls' wife, looked like flustered, like, oh my gosh, I can't get him out of these shirts. It was so human. And here, I promise this was my exact thought. Wow, the presentation is really good. Wow, they're really humanizing Tim Walls. But I couldn't get out of my mind that when Minnesota was burning with the George Floyd riots, that his wife said, I opened the windows to smell the tires burning because I knew this was such an important movement. I mean, so much damage was done to your town, like millions of dollars of damage. So again, I'm speaking as a conservative watching this going, man, I get it. They're selling it really well. I really hate that Gwen Walls said that about the riots while her own city was burning and damages and and businesses were being damaged. But they did a good job of coming across as just the more welcoming party, and they came across as the more, except for like J.B. Pritzker and such, but they came across as a party that I think wants to expand its umbrella.
Marcellus Williams is on death row here in the state of Missouri. An innocence hearing happening in the county today. Our very own Stuart McMillan is on the scene for that. It was supposed to begin at 8:30, but both sides had been negotiating. We don't know the nature of the negotiations, what they're trying to figure out. There is the hearing now had been delayed. It is scheduled to start in about 45 minutes. So if we do get any word on what happened, we will talk to Stewart. May not happen before this show is over, but we hope to get something from him. By the way, a rally for Marcellus Williams is in Shaw Park. It's happening right now, and that's where Stewart is for the moment. So a lot to keep an eye on. The Cardinals last night did not go well. Their situation in the wild card race not looking good. That and more coming up on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Well, Renewal by Anderson's 1 month only sale is happening right now. So here's what you want to do. You want to call for an appointment today, because when you do, you'll save $329 on every window and $729 on every patio door. That's with 0% interest for 3 years. This is a pretty cool stat, but among leading full-service window replacement companies in St. Louis, Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews. I'm someone who looks at reviews. I look at the rating. That matters, and it's hard. It's very rare to see a company with 5-star reviews. Anderson has them because, well, Anderson has been building quality windows and doors since 1903. Again, their 1 month only sale ends August 31st. Take $329 off every window, $729 off every patio door with 0% interest for 3 years. Call 314-720-9200. That's 314-720-9200.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
How could they make things even better at Genesis of St. Charles? How about 0% financing through the end of August? That's right, 0% financing on fantastic, unbelievable Genesis vehicles, sedans, SUVs, several fully electric models as well. All you need to do is head to Genesis of St. Charles, walk into their beautiful state-of-the-art facility, and get behind the wheel of a Genesis and drive off today. A quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70 or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. If you haven't been to our Inverness community, don't wait. We are in our final phase. Conveniently located at Bryan and Feisey Road, not only will you get the legendary McKelvey quality, you will experience the extensive walking trails, 4 lakes, and pocket parks. We will build to order or select from one of our move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands, including our Sterling Ranch that has special 3.9% financing if qualified. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
St. Louis City SC and Schnucks are teaming up for a week-long food drive now through August 25th. Visit your local Schnucks to donate non-perishable food items benefiting Operation Food Search. And join us Wednesday, August 21st at the DePere Schnucks to donate and be one of the first 150 people in line starting at 3 p.m. to meet City SC players. Join the effort to help City SC and Schnucks fight hunger in our region. Find out more at stlcitysc.com.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
From city lights to neighborhood stories, KMOX's local newsroom keeps you informed. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Hit off the pitcher. To the third baseman. No play. Base hit. 3,000. Carlo Brown.
Jack Buck, born 100
Wow.
years ago today.
1 year before KMOX was born.
That is correct.
After.
December.
No, before.
Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Of December 2025, the station went on the air for the very first time. We're actually going to be celebrating our 100th anniversary
Do you
next
know
year.
where the first KMOX studios were?
I know I've heard it, but I can't remember.
Kirkwood, Missouri.
Kirkwood, Missouri.
The studio, we have some pictures from the first KMOX, and it's absolutely beautiful because you would have musicians in and artists in to play music on the air. So there was a room that had a grand piano and it had, you know, like a carpet, like a beautiful carpet, and then tapestries to dull the sound. And it was this room with candles and tapestries and carpet and a grand piano, and they would play music. Really cool.
So last night, the Cardinals, not a good opener to their series against the Brewers, a team that if they had any dream whatsoever of making up ground in the Central, they needed to start winning like yesterday, and they did not. They're now 12 games out of first place. The Brewers get the win 3-2. Cardinals had bases loaded in the ninth inning and could not score a run. So more offensive issues. Also, Amy, an all-time low in single game attendance for the Cardinals at Busch Stadium 3 happened last night. They drew above 30,000 in attendance for the game. The final total was 30,022, which, just to put this into perspective, for most teams, that's not a bad night.
That sounds good.
So so big picture, in terms of Cardinals attendance, not bad, but if you're looking at it through a Cardinals lens, that's not good.
And that's always paid attendance, which is not
right.
a gate.
It's the only number that matters, really.
Yeah, the paid attendance is what matters.
I take that
mean,
back. I take that back.
Yeah.
It matters the most, but the no-shows also matter.
Yeah.
Because if people have tickets and are not using them, that eventually could turn into people not buying tickets.
Sure. And also, we talked about how the fans in the stands are part of the production because it is a show. I know it's Cardinals baseball, and baseball is more than a game, but ultimately it is entertainment and it's a show. And a big part of that are fans in the stands. It's why that one football team in Paris, football team in Paris, which had very few attendees, they started paying fans making the games free for fans. And people started showing up because they said it makes our product better if there are fans in the stands. And obviously, we won't get to that because the Cardinals draw. People want to go there. I don't think we'll ever see that in the U.S., but it does go to show that butts in the seat, it helps.
It does, for sure. It looks better on TV. And all it will take is some winning, and people will come back. This is good Cardinals baseball is not a tough sell to St. Louis. If you put good Cardinals baseball on the field, this town will go watch it.
And that's why it's not great that it was a late August game against a division rival on a pretty beautiful night.
Yeah.
The best night we've had.
And it will be nice tonight, too. There is another game. It's 2 of 3, 6:45 first pitch, a 5:50 pregame show right here on KMOX and the Odyssey app. We hope that you will tune in to that. Amy.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, talking about nice weather, do you know what's happening this week? Starbucks is dropping their fall menu, including the pumpkin spice latte. That will happen tomorrow.
Let's go.
Tomorrow, Thursday, pumpkin
Little
spice
late for me
season.
if you ask me.
Honestly, I thought it was out already. Okay, can I tell you, I love the idea of the pumpkin spice latte. I love the name. I love fall. I love the fact that it's holiday. And I hate it. I think it's gross.
You hate pumpkin spice?
Yeah, I don't drink it. I don't like pumpkin spice.
What is
I like
the matter
pumpkin
with you?
pie, like real pumpkin pie. But I'm not a pumpkin spice latte. It tastes kind of like burnt. Like I like a good coffee more than I like a pumpkin spice latte. It's not me.
I think you're absolutely wrong.
Listen, I said I love the idea of it. I just think it tastes terrible.
There are some opinions that are just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them.
Okay. Whatever. What is tomorrow? August 22nd. Last year it was August 24th.
Oh,
the year
when they
before
released
that,
it?
August 30th,
Well,
24th, 25th, 27th.
Who was it
Always.
that came out with pumpkin spice on August 1st? Somebody did. Somebody dropped a
Really?
pumpkin spice something on like August 1st.
Was not Starbucks.
I don't know who it was. Do you know what happened while we were sleeping?
No.
Over the last 10 days, we've slept on it.
No.
The sunset time
Mm-hmm.
fell before 8 o'clock for the first time. So we have had our last 8 p.m. or later sunset of the year, and it will be that way until, I believe...
November.
No, it's like March or
Oh, sorry.
February.
Yeah, November we fall back. I thought you were going to talk about the time change.
Yeah, but
You
no
fall
more.
back. Yeah, no.
No more 8 p.m. sunsets.
That's sad.
Does that depress you?
Yeah.
And that happened last Monday. Last Monday was the last day of it.
I always get a little bit of anxiety at this time of year because it means I can just feel that when I run, and I only run in the dark. I never get to run in the sun, whether it's before work or after work, it's in the dark.
I have noticed that
Ugh.
waking up, it is it's a little darker later. Yep. Anyway,
Good for you for noticing that.
I know. Yeah, I know. It just occurred to me. That's Amy Marks Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. Standardized test scores in the state of Missouri have shown some improvements in other areas. There is still some improvement to come, hopefully. We are going to talk to somebody about that when we come back. The Assistant Commissioner of the Office of Quality Schools, the DC Office of Quality Schools, will be with us when we come back on KMOX.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We have over $34 trillion in national debt. Where do you think the money to pay for that is going to come from? Taxes. Believe it or not, taxes are at historic lows right now, but how much longer will that last? A Roth IRA conversion might be a good option when planning for your retirement because you can pay lower taxes now and avoid potentially higher taxes later. The FIRA Capital Management Team, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, have seen taxes rise and fall. They know what options you have to potentially reduce the amount of taxes you pay in retirement. Call the team at FIRA Capital Management and schedule your tax analysis today. 314-328-4400. Uncle Sam needs money. Don't let him take it all from you. 314-328-4400. Investing involves risk. Always consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding a Roth conversion, as there may be additional tax considerations. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
12:30, clouds and 71 degrees. Former President Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance are in North Carolina today for a joint rally. The theme of the event in Asheboro is national security. This is also Trump's first outdoor rally since last month's assassination attempt. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland.
Trump and Vance side by side here in Asheboro, North Carolina today. They are both on the same stage to talk about military and defense issues. And it's always telling at this part of the election calendar, when both are together, the campaign makes that state a priority and is trying to amplify a message or juice the energy a bit.
The Cardinals lose 3-2 last night, opening up a home series against Milwaukee. Eric Fetty makes the start, going 5 2/3 innings, allowing 2 runs and 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. He takes the loss. Matt Carpenter hits a pinch hit home run to account for both of the Cardinals' runs. Game 2 of the series tonight, the Cardinals will send Kyle Gibson to the mound. The right-hander is 7-5, 6:45 first pitch. Our coverage starts at 5:50. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Sunshine eventually this afternoon with a high 77. Clear tonight, low 59. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 80. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, 71 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
JerryKelly.com says if you purchase a full home comfort system today, they'll install it the very next day.
That's fast.
And guaranteed. Buy a home comfort system from Jerry Kelly today and they'll install it tomorrow, or they'll give you $500. Guaranteed.
JerryKelly.com. Saturdays are made for soccer and City SC on Y98. Whether you're running around town watching your kids from the sidelines or making the time to give blood and save lives by making your appointment at Impact Life, your community blood center. Make your appointment today at bloodcenter.org/soccer. And remember, you can always catch the City SC game anywhere on the Odyssey app and on Y98, your home for St. Louis City soccer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hi, this is Paul Goldschmidt, and it's game day.
It's the Cards and Brewers tonight. Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Let's play ball.
On your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Don't be out too late. Don't let it get too dark. They tell you not to hang around and learn what life's about. And grow up just
Missouri students are showing signs of progress on standardized tests administered by the states. That's from some new results we've been looking at, and to give us some insight into how those grades and those reports are going up, what the state is doing to continue that improvement, is Lisa Serino. She's the Assistant Commissioner in DESE's Office of Quality Schools, and she joins us now. Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you for having me.
What do we need to know about Missouri students and the progress that they are making or aren't making on standardized tests?
Well, first, I'd like to say that when we look at the preliminary statewide assessment participation, our participation rate continues to be really high. And that's important as we look at the results so that we can use them and interpret them. Overall, the results from 2024 really show that we're sustaining performance over the previous years or showing small improvements in some areas, which is very good news coming out of the post-pandemic era as our students are progressing beyond those years when we saw the pandemic-related disruptions.
Yeah, and just speaking of that, to clarify, we did see so much disruption and we saw scores drop during that time. When you're talking about improvement in grades, are we talking about from post-pandemic or improvement even from pre-pandemic levels?
So overall, we're sustaining compared to last year or showing some small improvements over last year. In 2024, we have reached or surpassed those pre-pandemic levels in middle school mathematics, which is really good news.
So how are we getting to this point as a state where you're seeing some improvement in some areas but not in others? What really explains away the situation at the moment?
Well, a couple things. Change of this type takes time. It's really important when we think about instructional practice, getting kids back in school over not just a single year, but over time. The importance of evidence-based instructional practices implemented in schools with fidelity at that classroom level is really important to increase student achievement. And in order to do that, we've got to have good teachers. So that's another thing to be thinking about, along with local schools and local education agencies. The department's focused on putting great teacher in every classroom.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
When we were looking at some of the improvements that have been made, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it looks like some of the most notable improvements are in areas like math, and some of the areas where students are still falling behind are English language arts and reading. Is that true?
So in English language arts, we did see some small declines over 2023 in fifth grade and in English 2, which is our high school assessment in English language arts. So that's what we're seeing. And we may look at, when we think about those fifth graders, they were first graders in the spring of 2020. And so as they are continuing to progress through school, maybe not having that early foundation grounded in the science of reading at that, for what many students is their first year of school, could be having a little bit of an impact on that compared to the group that we saw in 2023 at fifth grade.
Depending on where you look, you can find different ratings for Missouri as it compares to other states in terms of education around the country. And many of them will have the state in the bottom half, whether it's 30th or 38th, using various factors. Are those assessments of where education is currently, are they fair to the state?
Interesting question. It really depends on the measure that you're looking at. If, for example, you're looking at what's commonly called the Nation's Report Card, or NAEP, you need to interpret those rank orders with caution. That rank of 30-something may not be statistically really any different from the rank of about 20-something. So it really depends on what you're talking about.
When you look at different areas where kids are struggling across the state, 56% of students are at basic or below basic range when it comes to reading. We know in the city of St. Louis, that number is even lower. We know with Black students in the city, that number is 13% of kids are reading at grade level, which means, we have like 87% of kids reading below grade level. Is the Missouri Department of Education able to deploy resources according to the school districts and areas of greatest need?
So two-part answer to that question. First, when we look at the performance levels that are defined, it's a mischaracterization to say that all the students who are scoring at the basic level are reading below grade level. Those students can read. They have are able to demonstrate knowledge of the standards at the grade level to varying degrees. So we want to clarify on that. What we really want to look at are those students who may be scoring in the below basic range, because we know that those students are most at risk of not being able to be prepared for what's next, from perhaps not being able to catch up with their peers. So just that note of caution on interpreting the results. Then secondly, looking at what we can do to help those students who are in those educationally vulnerable situations where they're at that below basic level. We're working on a number of fronts, ensuring that all children are ready to start school. Our Missouri Read, Lead, Exceed initiative, making sure that all students, teachers can implement the science of reading, and then using competency-based education strategies to support personalized learning for students. Also providing supports for teachers in developing fluency and rigor in mathematics instruction for their students.
So earlier in the year, the raising of the minimum for teachers in Missouri went up to 40,000, or it's going to, but the bill for that was passed. I don't believe the salaries have actually been implemented yet. So is that part of, I know we've been losing teachers or not gaining enough of them in the state, which causes a problem. Is that problem correcting at all? And will this new bill help much?
So that's a little bit outside my area of expertise. The department is doing everything it can to support that educator workforce and help districts recruit and retain qualified teachers. Yes, teacher salary is a part of it. Competing with states on the borders to Missouri, particularly in the Kansas City area, the St. Louis area, maybe even on our southern border, it's important to be able to be competitive salary-wise, so that our schools can attract and keep qualified teachers. As we're taking steps in the right direction, I think, like many of our colleagues across the country, we really want to elevate the teaching profession, and that involves everybody.
Going back to what you were saying with trying to improve literacy rates and the science of reading, how would you define the science of reading? And is that different from like phonics?
So phonics or phonemic awareness or phonological awareness is part of the foundations of reading, those foundational elements. It's more than just phonics. It's attending to all of those elements that the science of reading, which is a term for a broad body of evidence and research that looks at and explains how our brains learn to read.
Sorry. So you're saying phonics is part of that, and then it's like there's more into it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you sit here and we're looking at the place where Missouri is in terms of education, in terms of performance of students, younger students in particular, how much more work really do we need to do here? And I know I mentioned those numbers earlier, the rankings, and the state is viewed as not quite as good on education as other states. So what do we have to do as a state to be considered better in terms of education?
So no matter where we sit on any national ranking or anybody's continuum, we always need to be thinking about how we can do better and how we can do better for all of our students. In order to see change at the system level, particularly when we're talking about curriculum, instructional practices changing, focusing on that, research shows us that it takes up to 5 years before we start to see those interventions show impact on systemic measures. And the larger the system, the longer it can take. So at a statewide level, we really want to see sustained implementation of these evidence-based instructional practices. And for literacy or reading in Missouri, that is the science of reading, the opportunities that are available to our teachers in our schools through our Read, Lead, Exceed, which involves training for teachers, it involves coaching, professional development opportunities, and also that there's an element of assessment in there.
Lisa, we appreciate your time. Thank you for talking with us on this Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me.
Lisa Serino, Assistant Commissioner in DESE's Office of Quality Schools, with us on KMOX. We are open. Our voice message line is open on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it where you can listen to the station and the podcast, all that stuff. Tap the mic button and leave us a message on anything you want.
Yeah.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, yes?
I was
Amy,
going to say, we would love to hear from you. And I will say, the reason why I was asking too about phonics, the Associated Press had a huge story on this last summer about the science of reading versus phonics. And I know sometimes it can be confusing. Like, what does that look like in the classroom? And that varies school district to school district, state to state, where phonics can be part of the science of reading, but like how much of it? Some people say it gets short shrift. Some people say, in other school districts, they focus more on it. So I'm sure it's different school district to school district. The biggest thing is read with your kids, read with your grandkids, read with your nieces and nephew if you can. Read out loud, read together. It makes a difference.
Hey, St. Louis, our friends at Together Credit Union have just launched a brand new high-yield checking account, and they're calling it Empower Checking. With Empower Checking, you earn above-market interest on the money that you keep in your day-to-day checking account. Interest paid to you each month. That's how they do it. So it's a checking account that rewards you for your balances and not your activity. So it's very easy to apply. You just go to togethercu.org or stop by any of the 14 local St. Louis branches, and you can work directly with one of the wonderful member advocates they have there. Empower Checking has a 5% APY on balances up to $25,000. There are a lot of reasons that you'll want to look into Empower Checking. Get paid to save with Empower Checking. Go to togethercu.org/empower for full terms and details. Membership eligibility required. Together Credit Union, federally insured by the NCUA.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Amy, tolerate your laugh, but not your singing. Stay in your lane, girl.
You know how?
Thank you.
You know how for me not to stay in my lane is to tell me to stay in my lane.
Okay, I'm with Mark on this though.
Yeah, don't
Your
stay
singing,
in your lane.
Your singing is.
Maybe Mark should get out of his lane and live a little.
I think your singing is.
Mark, get out of your lane. Go live
it's-
a little. Do
your
something you shouldn't do.
Amy, your singing might actually drive people to swerve out of their lanes and end it.
Well, I would say they're listeners. You never want to lose listeners.
No, we don't. So you got to
But it
stop
would
singing.
keep Roger Brand in business. And we've got several
Oh, there's a wreck down there.
multi-vehicle crash.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that direction. Don't go 70. It's
I have to find a different
It's
way to
always-
work. Where I find a different way to work.
yeah, I wouldn't go that direction. It's I'd never take 70. Don't ever go on
70 is
70.
always-
So
no,
wait, every time
crowded.
I wake up in the morning and I look at the tweet box and I follow all of our traffic reporters.
Mhm.
There's always a wreck on 70. It's always 70.
And 55 and 270 and 40 is always bogged down for no reason through the Interbelt. Oh, I'm big, all the way going back to Spady through the Interbelt. It's a jam. No
I
crashes,
meant to-
just a jam.
I meant to call you the other day because I was driving west on 40 at about 3:30 or something like that. And it slowed down and I thought, oh God, there's a wreck up here. And it slowed.
Yep.
It slowed right past Hampton.
Yep.
And
it's jammed all the way-
Hampton past the zoo to McCausland.
Yep.
And then nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it cleared up again.
Which is amazing that it cleared up
You know
because
what it is?
sometimes it's through Hanley because you get past Hampton,
Wasn't that bad.
McCausland, Big Ben, Hanley, and it's just red and there's no reason for
I'll
it.
tell you what the reason is. People who drive in Missouri, they don't know how to handle hills. Any sort of incline on a road, oh my God, it might as well be one of those magic eye things. It's like they can't figure it out.
Well, how does Illinois learn how to drive hills in their
We
driver's
take
ed?
driver's
There are no
education
hills
classes.
in Illinois at the first part. It's Coquia Mounds or something.
We take driver's ed over there.
Do you have
They
fake
actually
hills?
have literal classes, and an instructor teaches you how to drive.
Hmm.
I don't understand why it's not required everywhere.
There were a lot of like first-time drivers, I think, going to school. The parents are like, good luck, get to school. And man, oh man, did they cause issues.
Well,
There's like a 10-year-old behind a steering wheel.
might as well be. I feel like the people who get their driver's license in Missouri,
Mhm.
they all drive like they are 10 years old.
That's rude.
Well, learn how to drive better.
I think it's because we have a too diverse of driving mentality.
Yeah,
like in
that's what it
Boston,
is.
everyone's aggressive.
Yeah.
In the South, everyone's really laid back. In St. Louis, we have aggressive, we have laid back, we have nervous, we have not nervous. It's too many mentalities, and they don't mix well.
That's not what it is.
Either everyone be aggressive or everyone be laid back. You can't mix it.
It's because nobody in the state of Missouri learned how to drive properly. They got their permit on an honor system.
Did
Dad
you
showed
have
me,
one of the-
Mom showed me how to
Okay,
drive, and then you
okay.
go take the driver's test. They make you do a 3-point turn, and that's it.
Did you
Here's
have
your
the
license.
drunk driving reenactment?
I don't know.
Mason Jar did. He was the victim in the drunk driving reenactment, got splattered with blood. They airlifted him out. Mothers Against Drunk Driving paid for this. He got to be airlifted out. They got to use the jaws of life on him.
He's the victim in that. He's the victim in your relationship. I'm the victim in this
As
room.
soon as I said victim, Ron started smiling like he thought of a brilliant concept. He's not wrong, though. Mason Jar has to put up with me.
I had the great fortune of working at KMOX from 98 to 2005, mainly focusing on Cardinal baseball, and had nothing to do with how much money I made. The greatest job of my life was being able to sell the Cardinals on KMOX, and most importantly, having Jack Buck as the voice of the Cardinals and KMOX.
Jack Buck's birthday today. Would have been 100. 100 years ago, we got that man. What a man. He was awesome. Just absolutely
We're
awesome.
spoiled at KMOX.
Got a great broadcast team now. John and Ricky and Claves. You can hear him tonight. Hopefully the Cardinals get a win against the Brewers. They need it.
Otherwise, we'll need
first
caller
pitch.
number 13 tomorrow.
Coming up next. That's right. Coming up next is the Dave Glover Show. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Back with you at 10 tomorrow. I hate people who do magic. I hate it.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why